to the metal. I want to see all the stops given. No saving anything for later best of five. Everything you got needs to be on display right now to stave yourself off of that darkness. We're already getting through the first ban phase. The Misfortune, Leona, Renekton by JDG. It's the Aurora, obviously, as well as the Ashe and the Braum by NIP on red.
So we have Rell, we have Rumble, and that's going to go through as well. The Ezreal is available too. It wouldn't surprise me to see that Ezreal immediately locked in for NIP, but Flandre, we said that in the first two games, really just bullied about Shanji. Getting a Rumble to do that with is very, very dangerous for NIP.
Although Zhuo will have his Rell. I think it's been a centerpiece for a lot of these wins for NIP in these playoffs. The Skarner also making it through. These are bans that had been given all these games by NIP, and now this time around we're going to get the dual lock-in and the Corki to follow it up. Udyr also let through for Shanji.
So, we see the Skarner being locked in. Hang on, this means that we got some different stuff going on. That does mean that potentially we have either the Rumble support or into the jungle. Skarner really in LPL and within China as a whole in terms of solo queue isn't played in jungle that much, but you know, Skarner has been a while since we've seen him, and JDG has been a while since we've seen them in this as well. So bits of flexibility now on display here from JDG.
Have to see what the lockaways are here in the second phase already. Looking at bot lane, looking at ruler signatures in the Zyra, as well as the mid lane focus for JDG in Rookie's Lucian. Very, very deadly.
So, bot lane yet to be locked in from JDG. Of course, we did say the Rumble can go towards that support there. Wouldn't be the engaged support for him. It's typically that was what Life was playing over in FBX, but it has been played elsewhere. NIP banning out some of the more, I suppose, self-sufficient AD carries. The Zyra can deal with the big engage from the Rell. The Varus is very, very lane dominant and can, of course, play around kind of that playing in the pocket. So we're getting really deep into the AD carries at this point. Zeri's still available, I suppose. Rilla could go towards that.
See what the choices are going to be. I don't think I want to see the Jhin again. I'll just say that outright. I want to see all the guns. JDG. I want to see everything they got. Lay it all on the table. NIP, they have been putting everything on the table, and it's been coming up aces for them every time. And this has been another one of the crucial picks in a lot of their wins, just like Zhuo's Rell. This Zyra, now 10 plays in these playoffs by Leyan.
Hovering over that Jhin, again, it is locked in, so you're going towards the Jhin Rumble kind of combo composition. It does look like, I mean, JDG might just have picked in pick order where they have the Skarner jungle, the Rumble top. We might have just done pick order as Rookie once again goes towards that Smolder mid. I think Rookie has massively outvalued Yagao across most of the games in this series, and that Smolder had the highest individual gold differential in that last game, got given so many resources and so high damage. That'll be a problem. I do think that JDG have a good long-range combo between the Jhin, the Corki rockets, and then the Rumble, but I don't think that is going to be nearly the same value as the Zyra, the Smolder, and the Ezreal Qs coming in as well. So we have a lot of range on both sides. Really need to see whether JDG's lanes can make the difference this time. They did lose those lanes in their losses, particularly through that bot lane. Photic and Zhuo have been fantastic in that 2v2. Before we even start talking about these big combos later on with big long-range combos, you need to make sure you get through the early game. I do feel like all of these games have been very one-sided. One team sweeps one big fight or gets a lane advantage and they start running away with the game. JDG, if they want to stay alive here, they need to have a good laning performance.
It's do or die now for JDG, a team with so much pressure on their shoulders, so much veterancy across both these teams, but it's an NIP who lost to JDG in the spring playoffs. They are wanting to make it right. That miracle magic that they're made of here on full display as they're putting one of the teams that should be at the top to their tests. It's one game away from at least qualifying to the regional playoffs, and that campaign for Rookie to Worlds is being led by the man himself every single game. It's game 4, a do-or-die game for JDG, and it's NIP who have had all the want, all the give, and everything falling in their lap. It's been holistically focused around Rookie, and now it's all the eyes on JDG to bring us to 5. Oh no, Ruler Ruler, he's gonna not try to burn any of his abilities. Does dodge away from the Mystic Shot. That's rough. Though you still hear the energy has just been sucked out of Zhuo for the JDG fandom.
You can see that Ruler even has to cancel back there. So Ruler is going to be late back to lane again. What did we say about this before? You need to be so careful in this 2v2. JDG's 2v2 has lost to Photic and Zhuo. That's not something which I thought I'd be saying today, but that has been the nature of it. Rookie takes a hard trade in that mid lane. That's something nice for Yagao at least. Rookie has actually been doing well in the early levels against the Corki before. Not to be in this one. But Photic and Zhuo, this has been the biggest step up of individual players from NIP's roster here in this series today. The fact that they are not just surviving, but actually doing very well on individual levels is a huge difference.
They're thriving. Just about survival now. Rookie maybe not thriving as heavily. Yagao, he's learning from the last time around. Put some pressure earlier on, and centerpiece has been stated as this middle lane, and it leads to a lot. But now a bit of a different style from Kanavi potentially coming out. We also get Flandre's Rumble already losing pretty heavily to the Udyr, and you could have seen this pick coming.
That's what happens. That's what happens when you miss your Electro Harpoons. Rumble always did lose to the Udyr in the early levels because Rumble can sometimes struggle to, one, kind of run away from the Udyr at the right points, but also loses in the wave clear too. That can be very dangerous. At least in the 2v2 now, Ruler actually gets some really good damage back there onto Photic and Zhuo. If that can continue and they don't lose the level 2 trade too hard, which I think they're losing the race to level 2 right now.
Yeah,
that could be a bit of a problem.
Okay, they get it in the middle of the fight, but Missing's already lost about half his health. Photic is able to dodge away from the deadly flourish. Ruler just puts that fourth shot into Zhuo. They're going to keep balance down here, but we have to think about where these junglers are pathing. There is no safety coming for JDG's bot lane.
But Photic is low HP, and the thing is, you can pop a barrier against the Jhin. Still get CXQ damage based on your HP, so if you get that fourth shot onto you, you still take a load of damage. So Photic and Zhuo being contended better with by Ruler and Missing, at least on this level 2. They have been winning a lot of those level 2 trades just before this point. Another big problem here is that JDG, they lost a lot of HP on Missing, but they didn't lose a lot of that HP on Ruler, who still has his pot and his cookie. In 2v2 bot lane, it is typically about 80 carry HP in early game skirmishes, because one, they're typically longer range than your melee supports, and they can do a lot more damage with their auto attacks, even just a couple of levels in. Now we have Leyan walking towards mid lane.
Leyan isn't going bot lane, he's going mid lane here. As the Deja Vu not going to be here. Yagao is going to have to Valkyrie away from Leyan, who's still chasing him down, trying to get some vision over here. He try to contest over that blue, just going to sink a little plant over the wall, see what's going on. Knows that Kanavi's on that side, going to go for the scuttle.
We'll see whether Leyan can get himself a double scuttle. Kanavi's going to run his way down there, but Leyan, he doesn't need to smite this. He can let the last plant take it, and he can start contesting towards this bot scuttle. So, watch what's happening with supports. Mid-prior put in from Rookie as well. He will be able to teleport back. This should be double scuttle over to Leyan. I don't really think Kanavi can walk up towards this one, especially with Rookie teleporting back in.
Gonna maybe contest for it. He's going to be a little bit late to the party, though. The move up by Ruler, first and foremost. Kanavi, a bit left wanting in the early pathing here, but just going to get the reset from both these two junglers, and that's where I want to talk about the impact this Skarner can have. When it was being picked in topside, it's all about that team fight impact, locking down multiple members as well, but you're going to have those go buttons coming through from the jungle position and from Kanavi.
Yeah, it's still a go button. I will say the Skarner's going to really struggle to hit a lot of these champions. If you find a good angle, yeah, Zyra really struggles to deal with people coming from more than one direction, so that can be a problem. Problem is with the Ezreal and the Smolder, they can throw like some skill shots back at you, they can dash away or flap over the wall. It's going to be hard to reach them. And also the problem with the jungle Skarner compared to the top lane Skarner is that you are just much less tanky. You can still get tanky from the jungle, but you're not going to be the hyper tank, which means you could do ridiculous 1v4 frontlining stunts and get out alive with the ability to just like reposition so heavily. So Kanavi is going to have to prove to me that this Skarner in the jungle is good enough here for LPL standard. We saw one game of Skarner in the jungle with the LPL. It was a loss so far. We saw 62 games of it in top lane where it was much more successful at 55% win rate or thereabouts. So he's going to have to prove that this pick is worthwhile.
They know that they did deserve a little bit of respect going into the series.
And he did get some buffs. He did get some buffs. So it's not like completely dead.
But the thing is, you're picking this in a do-or-die game where losing puts you at 60 championship points and takes a lot of the decision-making out of your hands for JDG, which I think is bold. But if somebody's going to do it, I do believe in King Kanavi, as he has been this team's staple for 5 years now.
Man, the thought of Kanavi and Ruler missing worlds potentially, or at least putting themselves in a position where that's a possibility, is just wild to me. So wild to me. Missing double internationals after being MSI champions and Golden Road hopefuls from that last year, with Kanavi being an LPL contender and an international contender for so many years against at this point. It is so alien if you look towards the start of this year. So NIP, potentially the ones to put JDG in the hot seat, waiting for the rest of the results to see exactly where they're going to end up in terms of championship points. That is just not something which I would have considered. But NIP, credit to them on the other side of this. They have come up, they have improved, and much like Spring, they went off of a shaky qualification into playoffs.
Shaky? I don't know if you can even say. I think there's a worse word you could use. I mean, not getting a single series win.
I'm trying to be diplomatic. I'm trying to be polite.
in a group that was all the best teams. That's why this team didn't have these big expectations, and that's why this performance of these last 3 best-of-3s has been incredible.
I see that we're doing a bad cop and worst cop here today.
Absolutely,
so, yeah, trying to be diplomatic, but sometimes it works like that. Rookie will spot out Kanavi again. But yeah, I mean, this performance from NIP can't be overstated right now. They have been playing so well comparative to those expectations. Kanavi wandering into that neighbor jungle, trying to see if he can scout out Leyan, and will do.
You're gonna try to get over there with the Shattered Earth there damage, but in the end, it's just gonna be all right as rain right now. Rookie trying to help get some clearing going in this mid lane with Mom's call, but that last cannon minion maybe eluding him, and Kanavi waiting around. He's being very active right now. Yagao going on Rookie going for the plays. Who's dying though? It's gonna be Yagao with a solo mono.
Yagao has been fairly quiet in this series, I think it's fair to say, but Rookie is solo killed by him. True shot barrage.
Oh, the flash comes out. I don't know if he needed it, but might as well.
So Yagao uses its flash, does take that kill in the mid lane. Rookie is stuck around to try and kill himself. That cannon minion probably dies for it, but still, he'll get himself back into lane. This is the kind of Legion's kind of performance you need to see against that Smolder. Leyan going towards bot lane.
That's a really good play by Missing. He might just sacrifice his life for it, though. Flashes away, but it's going to be the follow-up by Leyan to get the kill. And now it's tied up 1-1 in those kills, and Ruler being pressured in bot side. Kanavi right around the corner, though. He does have Impale, and they are opening up shop on this bot lane. Photic get a flash. One more shot available. Oh, it's going to go through for a second game in a row. Sniper action, man, Ruler.
How does he keep doing it? Ruler on the Jhin somehow gets that, the wanted curve the bullet around this support and gets a kill onto Photic. Most of this series has been about Photic and Zhuo if we're looking at bot lane, getting that domination, but at least Ruler fires one back in this time.
Yagao has had enough of being put down the mid lane, by the way. This is the first game, it feels like, we're actually seeing him constantly pressure Rookie and find that prio there. We're going to take a look back, though.
Yeah, and you can see that Missing, he uses that headfoot, and he flashes late. He flashes late, he tries to backstep on the route, but Leyan's been really good at hitting them, and Missing once again caught out in inopportune circumstances. Photic probably should have jumped forward on that HP though, and he goes down. Overall, what were we asking all for from JDG? A better laning performance. I think this qualifies as a better laning performance. That is about as close as it gets, and as another kill goes on to Zhuo now. Much better game from JDG in the early game, and that has been the focus in this series.
I know Photic is spamming some missing pings right now. For sure.
No, he's spamming some Zhuo pings.
Yeah. Get it right. Get the right name on there at least. But we are looking at some setup around this top side of the map. There is going to be another spawn of grubs in about 40 seconds. JDG had already taken the first 3. But the thing about NIP's composition now is they will have a lot of spacing tools in these fights.
Oh yeah, for sure. You're going to have Zhuo buying some space with that ultimate, and of course Shanji trying to use that Wingborne Storm as well. I believe it's called the ultimate on that to try and make sure he can kind of slow down an area of a team fight to add that into the Strangleforms. And yes, there's a lot of ability to make sure that some of the damage from JDG can't really get in range to contest these team fights. However, there is still that Jhin and the Rumble.
No.
That Jhin, speaking of it, does have flash, might have to use it.
Want to run away, Ruler. He's got a little bit of an angle here. Going to burn the fat flash over there and does get away.
So going to go lose himself a summoner, but does live. That's
they
nice.
Just go straight to grubs here.
Yeah, I think they absolutely can. I mean, Ruler can't stick around towards his bot side. Rookie has teleport, so he can stick around that. Ruler's going to get himself back towards this top side of the map, and JDG, they're going to start these up. Should be able to get one, especially with the smite from Kanavi. Don't know whether they'll be able to stick for anything more than that. We'll see. Might have to come down to a fight if they want to go towards more than 4.
There's the TP coming in. They will end up getting the 1, so they got the might spawn. NIP, I don't know if you necessarily want to give up the 6. And they're going to try to pressure on Kanavi, but Kanavi wants to fight, gets the Exalt's impact into the wall, the double impale on top of the equalize. You're being cooked on the coals, but not enough damage went through, and now the wombo combo's been turned right back on you. And NIP pounce like wolves, as now Rulers open it up with the curtain call. Can he do it again? Can this man get all the kills? A fourth shot not going to go through. He does get Zhuo in the end. JDG move forward, pick up some kills, but they will be denied the 6 grubs.
It's 2 for 1 as well, so NIP pick up some gold from there. Ruler does come back with that, the curtain call, and gets himself involved in that play despite being forced off from that bot lane. The early fights still looking better for NIP than they absolutely could do. Earlier in the series, JDG were massively outplaying in the 5v5s, or, well, okay, maybe that's a bit of an overstatement, but they were doing well in the 5v5s, we'll put it that way. This one starts with Missing not being able to get his own big engage. This is part of the huge combo you can see from this. You've got the Jhin rumble, but of course the Skarner, if he gets his ult, he's going to drag you right over those red hot coals, and the damage from that is going to go absolutely massive after that point. I had no idea that that skin sounded like that when it died, by the way. Rumble, the sound effects, that genuinely terrified me for a second. I did think there was a child crying somewhere in my room. That would have been very distressing.
Terrifying, especially at a pivotal moment.
That genuinely caught me off guard, man.
But I'd love to see Ruler stepping up in the moment right now. JDG themselves seeing those silver scrapes in their eyes, trying to get the Exalt's impact. Kanavi misses it. They need to pull off of this, but Missing is tanking the turret all by himself. Is going to be run down right now, giving stacks over to Rookie, and all these stacks could be to their detriment. TP coming in now from JDG. It's a bit late. They've already lost Missing, but Flandre is here to make sure to cook him up nice and good for him, as he's been hanging out in the chef room of JDG's house, and they will end up finding a little bit of purchase on top side and take down these plates.
Rookie is not nearly having as easy access to resources as his previous Smolder game. You can see that JDG, with that laning phase from Yagao, with the side lane plays that we're starting to see now as well, they're denying the Smolder getting as many... I'm sorry, these sound effects from that Rumble skin is really getting to me. But now maybe Kanavi's overstepped. He can go through the wall once, but he might get caught.
Impact. No, it's actually the Impale put combo, and Rookie just dies to Yagao. Here comes 12, but it's too little, too late. Shanji doesn't have the damage. He doesn't have anything to give, and now they might just give over a couple more kills. Flandre's got him cooking with the flame spitter. The man needs to get a chef hat for himself. Shanji trying to clear the wave here to make sure he can't get dove, but JDG, they're still looking, and they brought more bodies.
Oh, Shanji. Oh, Shanji. We'll put a salute to him. 07's in there for him. Shanji goes down. And NIP, they are the ones misjudging the fights now. JDG get themselves a significant gold lead. And when they start winning these fights, they get to use those grubs as well. JDG, very much not wanting to go quietly to a 1-3 defeat against the team they punted out of playoffs in spring. They want to bring us to 2-5 games in a row. It'll be, of course, very much in keeping with LPL playoffs to go the distance in so many of these series right the way from the start of it. I will say, though, NIP, despite losing that top side play, they did at least have Ezreal in mid lane and Zyra down bot lane to keep getting some gold across the map. It's not a completely barren trade for them, but you can just see... in these longer trades, yes, the cross map is going on, but then you can't overstay in this. You only have the 3 people here. And yes, I know it's 3v3 technically, but when you're going into a Rumble ult, it's just not fair. Everyone gets clumped up into this, and your Smolder's not the hyper late game Smolder at this point. This is not an even 3v3, so they do overstay in this one.
I see the constant bans by NIP on a couple of these crucial picks, and you wonder, what made that adaptation come through, because this is exactly what JDG wanted. I mean, these picks that they wanted that have been banned away from them are working out so strongly.
Okay. The observers, thank you very much.
We
did see 3 full plates per takedown on that boss. Look, that is still great for NIP and Leyan, because you do have the much higher damage jungler of Leyan on this Zyra. And I think particularly when you're starting to walk forwards of the Alistar and the Skarner, trying to get through particularly the 2-item spike of the Leandry's Rylai's from Leyan is going to be really painful. So that gold is going to accelerate him to that point. That is important for NIP. But I will still just say the problem is much unlike that last game, the gold's not going to the Smolder this time. You don't have that incredible record-breaking stacking pace coming in from Rookie. It's still very fast. He's almost got 10 minutes. Still really crazy stacking value, but it's not going to be the hyper-fed Smolder from before, which will be that huge late-game insurance brought online early.
You do have 2 items right now for Leyan, but he's looking to continue stacking, give Rookie some more of those stacks himself with those Krugs going. As I thought maybe Leyan might look for a little bit more of an aggressive play now that he has the Rallies, but So close.
Hey.
So close.
Nice
Kanavi
stuff.
is going to secure that one, though. His Heartsteel stack stacking up. He's almost at 100 now. But they have a potential play on mid lane if they want to take this outer turret.
Yeah, you know, I mean, Heartsteel gets more valuable the more you proc it.
It's like
and,
Smolder, right? It's the same, right?
Yeah, you got your own stacks.
225 and...
The early fighting very much helps. How's going to go in mid lane? That'll help. Is Zhuo looking for engage? No, he's not. Loads of grubs, though. I mean, they get the tower anyway.
Missing was, though. And up getting the fast reaction. Kanavi pulled out of his fellow Void monster, I guess. But now also, NIP don't want to leave any pressure down here because they want to kind of form up around this would-be dragon. It's already potentially a sole point for them.
I was completely forgot that. I mean, yeah, Skarner is... Yeah, that skin looks like a Void monster.
Yeah.
It does look similar to that. Dude's from Ixtal now, right? I think they've changed exactly where he was from. The bracket lore has changed quite a lot since that rework came through. Anyway, more important things to talk about.
Seraphine and Joy Unite.
There are dozens of them. Actually, there are quite a lot. It's a very popular champion. Anyway, Dragon up in 40 seconds. NIP do have the 2 dragons. So NIP, they can give up a dragon, get some gold onto Smolder, and get him some extra stacks in that side lane if they want. I mean, if they give up this dragon now, they will have the Smolder stacks probably by the time the next dragon comes around. In fact, with that in mind, I think NIP should just let this one go. They're not setting up for it. They do have vision down there, but realistically, you want to be just getting Rookie to a point where you can become that late game Smolder.
I'm also just so happy for JDG that, like, I literally was like yelling the question, who can step up and help Kanavi make this dream a reality for them? And so far, everybody has. We've seen really Flandre, Yagao, and Ruler step up in their own ways across this early game so far into the mid game. And now we are on second items, not going to have the transformation just yet for Yagao, but it's still looking to continue putting the presence and pressure onto NIP with this composition.
Equalizer used in that top lane. Dragon being taken by JDG, but as we said, NIP, they are completely happy to let one of these go. You really just want to make sure you get your big stacks onto Smolder. You're, of course, getting towards your second item onto Ezreal as well. You're not at your points of power yet, and I think you're completely fine to give over one dragon and scale up a little bit more. Kanavi potentially going towards Shanji.
Shanji out dodges it there. That one and connect that Ixtal's impact in the end, but giving over presence around that turret down there to give Yagao free reign over it. And IP are going to try to respond with their own on top and TP as well. As Shanji had given up the pressure there, they might find kills on top of it all. Missing, giving so many stacks over to Rookie now as well. Will end up burning that flash to get away.
So, Corki is on bot side pushing in that inner turret. He didn't have the teleport, couldn't teleport towards this top side, but may potentially get himself with the Triforce and the 4 grubs a full inner turret. In fact, he will do so.
Wow.
Good gold over towards Corki. The cross maps from JDG have been much better this game compared to previous ones. It is still going to be stacks over towards Rookie. It's still going to be a tower and gold towards him too. But in terms of the overall gold, JDG are actually winning out on this. And of course, they did get the dragon before that too. It's still an advantage for them, even if NIP were willing to give that one up.
We also thought maybe the stacking was being denied a little bit by Rookie. He's still on pace. He's at 219.
Oh, he's actually really, really powerful.
Yeah, he's real strong. But it's NIP that need these team fights to come online. So you expect the next big team fights, they will try to fully force these. And I think that's on JDG's side where we look at their composition, and their in-between moments are very strong. Their big catch-outs are very strong, and their combos are. But can they win those sustained fights?
That's the thing, right? Because NIP, they are getting to a point where they can start teamfighting obviously very, very effectively when they have multiple items on the Zyra, and of course the double kind of backliners as well of the Ezreal and the Smolder. JDG still have good team fight. It's just whether they can get that in the right place at the right time. I think Kanavi on the Skarner, he's where I've got my eyes on. Typically when I'm watching JDG, I have my eyes on Kanavi. He's a very good player. But when he has a tanky initiator like this, it will still be quite hard to make his way to the backline, but if he manages to get that ult onto any of these immobile backliners or catch them when they have that mobility down, rather, that could genuinely be game-winning. So watch out for Kanavi's next big engage. He has that flash, and he'll have himself a chance to really slam this door shut and see if he can bring JDG to a Game 5 and make sure that this will be another full-distance series.
I had so many 5-game series in my predictions. I need them to come true. I need the moments and all the drama that our reality series brings us here. Rookie taking about half his health there. Yagao having a much, much better performance here in this game number 4 comparatively to what he's had in the other games.
I think that level 1 really, really helps him getting that half HP on Rookie from a full Gatling gun. Set up his lane for success, and when you're in pro play, it doesn't seem like much, but taking a single advantage like that and running it through to a bigger lead is exactly what pro players can do. Yagao not have the best series, but this game is definitely much more potent from him. Now, Dragon spawning in 2 minutes, Baron already up, JDG. They are putting down a lot of wards. You can see that NIP don't really have great vision across the map, and that's going to be a little bit of an issue because it's going to make it much harder for Rookie to safely push out. He does have his stacks now, though, so that is one of the big things which NIP were looking for achieve.
Kanavi looking to be proactive now. Has cleared his side. Has a little bit of vision to know that NIP don't necessarily have much to play for. He's looking for those in-between moments like we were talking about. But those in-between moments are going to come fewer and farther between, as the Dragon will be spawning here. Still that NIP early stacking reigning in their favor to put them potentially on soul point.
So I think JDG, with the vision that they have, and NIP, they're starting to put down some wards now, but it's not quite there. JDG should be able to look for the big pick opportunities, which you've been talking about, the in-between moments. You're not quite set up. JDG, if they get Kanavi into a good spot, if you get Yagao and Ruler being able to combo onto a target as well that's out of position, the fight isn't going to be quick for NIP. So there is a difficulty in NIP arriving to the right part of the map. They need to do it very safely, and that's going to be hard.
NIP's trajectory here has not been the easiest. We've mentioned it so many times, but this playoff glow-up that they've had these last 2 splits has been incredible to watch. JDG on the other side so hard on themselves for some of the lackluster moments over this last year. And now find themselves backs against the wall, but trying to rise above it all. Still have a 4,000 gold lead to boot in this earlier part of the game. But they can threaten over with the lack of vision that NIP have over both objectives.
Yeah, and again, that vision control is probably where the game could be decided. JDG, we do see NIP grouping up all 5 members on one part of the screen. Much harder to get those pickoffs if they're all stood there at the same time. Multiple items, 2 items for the carries. JDG still very, very strong though.
The Megazord has been formed for NIP. They've got all their pieces of the puzzle here together. They got Rookie with that execute. Yagao very strong. Zhuo going forward though, actually away, as Shanji needed to run away now as well. Yagao steps up too far, and now he's in trouble. Mom comes through onto 3. Shanji getting low, as now they will end up turning back onto the Dragon Pit for JDG and NIP. They have been rebuffed once, but maybe they look to capitalize again. They will just give this one over.
Yeah, they do still have that Dragon advantage. It'd be the 2nd Dragon for JDG, but that's not worth dying for, right? You got to make sure you can actually win these fights. Photic trying to get a ult across the team, maybe stop some resets. He's trying to at least allow Rookie some time on this turret. So NIP, they got a chunk of mid lane turret. Sadly for them, can't get more than that. JDG, they managed to stop NIP from getting that big turnaround onto Yagao. I will say, though, initially that did start with Kanavi not quite managing to get that big pickoff onto Zhuo, who manages to interrupt that Hickstyle's impact with the Magnet Storm. So, back to the objective game. Baron up, Dragon down, so there's only one side of the map which really has the focus on it right now, and NIP will have to do the same dance again.
A dance of titans, if you will. A lot of veterans, a lot of big names on both these sides. Is it going to matter much if you take a loss here? Now catching Rookie out, though. He's going to immediately flash, flap his way to safety, at least. That vision gain, though, like you were talking about, being the decider.
This is exactly what we're talking about. Exactly what we're talking about. You get those wards down and you think you're safe up until somehow a skill shot comes out of Fog of War. It's quite hard to tell how oppressive this is without seeing NIP's perspective here, but Rookie now being down as Flash is definitely going to help his ability to team fight. NIP, this doesn't get easier for them. They do have a True Shot Barrage to check every so often, but they do need to check in the Fog of War.
Baron already getting very low. Leyan does have flash if he wants to go over. Missing is waiting for the counter engage here. TP's coming in. Baron going low. Leyan knocked out of the pit. He's not in an angle to take it. Now Baron going down, missing, counter engage. Oh, the Exhaust Impact gets stopped there. Stranglethorn splitting the team. JDG, they are completely split, but doesn't matter. Leyan, he's not with the team either. Zhuo goes in with a big engage. Now Flandre is getting low, and here comes Rookie. The flip of the wings, and it's not nearly an Elder, but it's a Smolder, as a double kill came over for Ruler. It didn't matter in the end, because guess who's online, baby?
It's 2 for 2 overall, though, and JDG get the Baron. That is a good damage check for NIP. They do definitely have damage in the Smolder, despite not having the full items like Yagao in terms of this point in the game. He is behind in the individual level, but NIP, they aren't quite getting themselves those clean team fights that they would potentially be looking towards here. Leyan doesn't look for a flash steal. He is denied that by missing, but he gets a root really importantly onto Skarner. You called that out in the team fight. That was stopped there. Leyan does get out with his life, and that means that JDG don't quite get the combat at the engage which they wanted to. We did say that this composition can have some issues reaching that backline in the right way. I think that was actually a shiv kill, which ends up killing Rell in the back there. That's where the 2-for-2 comes in from Ruler, just about picking himself up those kills, and that will fund him towards, of course, his 4th item coming up shortly. Of course, that Infinity Edge in as well. Very, very powerful point for Ruler.
Huge 3-item spikes for the dual carries of JDG here in Ruler and Yagao. Very important moments to capitalize on. You're starting to see some of the ways this team composition works time and time again. And we'll have a little bit more of a siege potential here with another minute and 20-ish on this Baron buff. NIP still stacking their way to a dream as they are almost on 3 items. It looks like it's going to be a Rabadon's 3rd for Leyan.
Which is, okay, so there have been some changes to Zyra, which means that she has some more AP ratios on her plants, but less flat damage. I will say, though, just on the whole, I'm not a huge fan of Rabadons on Zyra. She's not that bursty a champion. She prefers to be applying item on hits and stuff like that. She really likes Magic Pen as opposed to those ratios. Still, if he gets towards that, his ult is going to absolutely obliterate someone, so watch how much AoE damage he can get weirdly in that burst. And yeah, it can be a difference. It's just a little bit of a different take on the champion, which you've seen a lot of.
I mean, his ults have been so crucial in separating JDG. And there's a reason why he keeps grabbing the Zyra over and over again. 10 times here in these best of 5s, he's taken it. Now JDG, multi-lane pressure. They were looking for a dive potentially in that mid lane, just get a little pressure there. They cannot get the siege to stick up here on the top side of the map. And now NIP move towards mid. Don't get Kanavi in the end.
Close from Zhuo. Just misjudges where Kanavi's going. Learns his flash. That's a big tool down, though, because Zhuo, we saw how important he's been on that Rell so far. A swing and a miss there for what has otherwise been a fantastic series for Zhuo. Might end up being a big, big difference. W hits some Ruler. He does have the ult.
There's no rockets for Yagao, though. He can't really get the damage back on the Leyan. Here comes the equalizer. Leyan's just walking straight through those pineapples. They hurt. As now JDG reposition up towards this top side. Don't have a wave just yet, though, and the Baron buff is gone.
I don't think Leyan likes a pina colada. I think he'd like to get away from those pineapples. As he's going to go for that recall, see if he can get himself towards that item sooner rather than later. Zhuo gets himself a Warmogs as well. That can be important. Shrug off some of that poke coming in from Yagao and Ruler, depending on the situation. Dragon up in 10 seconds. We've been set up around this top side and around the Baron push, so it's not necessarily been an extended setup for the Dragon. So, JDG don't have the best vision control from this. Imagine how much more difficult this would be if all of those vision control was kind of set up from JDG. NIP, they don't necessarily know that, though, so they're walking down towards this bot side, but they know they're going to be slow to it. They're going to give up yet another Dragon. This is the bonus of them taking 2 early Dragons, but this is a lot of stats to give over to JDG, even when you're stacking with the Smolder.
It's so much stats to give over. It's going to be so terrifying. And they have decent damage, but they're going to have to make it stick here as well, as maybe just delaying the inevitable fight for that soul that JDG are craving. And maybe giving themselves some more time to stack. I mean, the biggest things is you have like 3.5 items for both Yagao and Ruler with a massive lead over their counterparts, and you just don't have that yet for NIP.
Yeah, the damage differential is really, really high in terms of those items, and you got to look squarely at the likes of Yagao and Ruler, who are going to be obliterating people in that front line. The front line from NIP is not bad. I will say, of course, Udyr. The reason Udyr is picked is because he's a tank that has a pushing laning phase. He is not the best hyper tank. He's not the Cassante Ornn, which can be just obnoxiously strong in that late game like that. He is tanky, but it's just not quite at that same hyper tank kind of level. It does mean that Jhin, when he's ahead of the game like this, can still do a huge amount of damage to him if you're not careful and you drop below half HP and you start getting those execute values really coming online. As we set up for the next phase of play, JDG once again putting down some wards, once again forcing NIP to play scared. They're forcing them to play as far away from the fog of war as they can, using ults like this, because what else are you to do? You have to wave clear safely.
The health bars are just getting so thick right now for JDG as well. it's so hard to deal with for NIP. And you have gotten to those 3 item spikes, but the damage just is not there. And now Leyan and Rookie, they're being collapsed on. Kanavi going for the impale. Can't get the combo there, though. Leyan will burn his flash Stranglethorn back. NIP, they're trying to fight this one out now. They have the execute damage. It is also Shanji who's already taken a side lane turret. Kanavi getting low. Kanavi will not be executed, but here comes Photic and Zhuo. They want the combos. Rookie just a little bit off of the damage profile there. JDG, they do not get that inhib turret, and now they're going to be a little bit behind the play to set up on the map.
Jeez, that was so close to a couple of those carries going down, or rather characters from JDG going down. Kanavi, we did say not as tanky in the jungle as it's compared to that top roll from the Skarner. Still a Skarner though, still has himself a decent amount of tank. Yagao, buddy, you got to be careful there. If they know that there's no one stood behind you, it could be very dangerous. And hey, gets away with that one. While all this is happening,
this man into poker.
Shanji showing that, of course, he can still push out that bot lane despite the anti-tank-ish build coming in from Flandre with the double mask stacking Riftmaker Leandres. Gets himself an inner turret while that is happening, so he gets some gold back for his team. 2.5 minutes now for NIP to decide where they're going to fight. They have that soul point looking across from them at JDG, and if you give 4 Mountain Dragons over to JDG, yes, you have great anti-tank in that Smolder. That is still going to be very, very hard to go against with that Mountain Soul, though. NIP need to find a fight. Their time is running out.
And you almost have 225 stacks for Kanavi. As the
True! Wow, does he get anything special?
I don't think he does, but NIP are hoping they get a little bit of something special here. They've been buying a lot of time in the setup. Now they're going to try to catch out missing, but Kanavi is in there. He's trying to get the impale, gets a double. There's the equalizer on top of it. Look at them cooking alive! I hope you like those pina coladas being shoved straight down your throat. Big true shot barrage back. Rookie still full health, still has the execute, but Photic being run down by a giant scorpion. Rookie still untouched. Is he going to be the difference? A double kill. Maybe it's setting up for a penta if he wants to try to get it, but he's trying to save his teammates here. As he does end up getting a couple kills back, it's still JDG who are pushing them to the brink.
Superhero play from Shanji though to make sure the game doesn't completely end here. If he doesn't block out that 4th shot, if he doesn't save his carries, JDG would be marching towards the base. We'll look back at a replay of this. We're missing initially gets caught. We did say that the engage combo from JDG, it can be quite hard to pull out. This is huge though. Leyan, no flash. Kanavi gets on top of him. He doesn't get the double AD carries, but getting that Zyra down is pretty huge. He doesn't have a Zhonya's, doesn't have a Banshees. He went for that death cap to be more damaging, more bursty, and that kind of works against him at this point. This game could have ended unless Shanji goes in to block that final shot. They do manage to turn things around and just about take down the giant scorpion in the back end of that, and at least make sure it is a Pyrrhic victory for JDG.
Oh, Ruler and Photic going at it. Photic's losing that one hard. He's burning, and now he just dies to Flandre. Long distance, brother. As JDG, they're pushing on NIP. The Ruler might be a little bit caught out. Now Zhuo is the one getting caught out, and he's just dying. He does have to flash away from the deadly flourish there, and NIP, they're losing bodies left and right here in the front lines.
JDG have just been much more composed. They've been very responsible about the way that they've set up the map. They haven't been flinging themselves at NIP trying to end the game. They have just found themselves 2 great fights in a row. They'll be able to get themselves the Baron, which does mean that there's a chance that the Dragon goes down on the other side of the map. Whether Leyan gets there in time, I don't think he will do. So JDG, they get themselves the Baron, they'll get themselves the Soul. In NIP, they have not found their fight in that 2.5 minute window we were talking about. They're going to be against some hyper late game buffs now at this point. Yeah, that's not looking great from Photic. He gets caught out. Of course, gets massively burst out by Ruler, who has 2 levels up from him. Just the tag from that equalizer takes him down. JDG in one fell swoop punished the misposition from NIP.
Hey, you were buying time. You said, oh, we'll take the next fight. Oh, no, the next one. Oh, no, the next. Oh, wait, they already have the soul.
All gone now.
4 Mountain Dragons in a row for JDG on a composition where health-wise, they just completely outstack NIP, and they know that. They're putting the hurt in, and now they're looking at bot lane siege. They're looking at mid lane siege.
Right. So, NIP fans, rookie fans out there, now we ask the question, how much hyper late game carrying can a Smolder do in the current meta? 4 items, rapid fire cannon built up, but you're against a quad Mountain Dragon, Mountain Soul team. It feels so unbelievable that NIP could work their way back from this point. JDG, they have been good at using their front line. Look at this, Kanavi is so tanky. They sat there, they're getting skill shots onto it, it just doesn't matter.
We labeled it a boxing championship match for a reason. Going all 5 games, it felt destined here. JDG on the precipice of it now. And NIP trying to stave off that would-be potential last game here for both these teams. Now, it is NIP who will stop the siege from continuing just now. There's about 1 minute and 25 seconds left on the Baron buff. JDG can return as these waves continue to crash, but NIP's clear now with Rookie down here is pretty strong.
It is, and that's the great thing about the true damage burn coming through alongside the Leandries and the mixed damage just overall from Smolder. Your wave clear is good. You can hold on to one wave like that. Level 18 continuing to get stabs. They're hovering over a ward. I don't really know whether you can get yourself a good teleport angle here. They're going for it anyway. Can they find themselves a push onto the overextended JDG?
Flandre, I'm frozen. Oh, we're back. Oh, God, the fight's continuing up. Kanavi's almost dead. What happened? Okay, the burn. Is it going to be enough? NIP? They're not going down? All right, now we have the re-follow-up. The True Shot Barrage not going to be there. JDG, they barely make it out alive, but they're still 5-man strong. Yeah, no problem. I was frozen there for a second as well. But, you know, NIP somehow made something happen. And now JDG, they will end up backing out. They will get full item builds for Ruler. And now getting very close for Yagao and Kanavi as well.
The power of these teams so powerful that we lose ourselves, our connection.
Honestly,
very
it really
briefly.
is.
It is just that, going past that 36-minute mark, and we are really into the hyper late game. Smolder does very much thrive here, but will it be enough?
So far, the answer to that question has been no. JDG have had a very strong advantage for pretty much this entire game. And they've been just slowly cracking into the armor of NIP. I don't know why Rookie's been just smiling and like laughing the last like minute and a half in his cam, and I love it. Even though their backs against the wall here, the super heavily down, they still have a lot of that siege fighting potential.
Look, we have so many players in this game which have been playing since 2014, 2015, 2016. Look, they've been through the wars, folks. They know exactly what happens in these late game scenarios. It is very hard to train this area of the game. You don't just practice hyper late game. You have to learn that through living through it a lot of the time. And now Elder up in 2 minutes 40. That's kind of a bonus to NIP. I suppose getting those 2 early dragons as well. It's not just delaying for the stacks there. It also means that JDG couldn't get themselves an Elder, which probably would have ended the game after that point. JDG still massively favored in this game. They get a tiny bit of damage. They catch someone out on vision. This game does just end. But NIP, credit to them for at least making it harder for JDG to look toward those kills.
Kanavi has like 6,000 workable health now on this Skarner. Oh, incredible stuff to see as they've had so much strength in a lot of these fights, just finding those big pickouts, finding the members to take down. And NIP, they are just holding up in their base, holding up and making sure that they can hit the item spikes that they need to try to fight this.
Folks, in case you hadn't got the memo, LPL has 18 best of 5s post Rumble stage, post that. We had an extra 3 added in from the Night's Rivals. We got an extra 3 after finals as well from the regional qualifiers. Folks, we have 18 of these to go through, and we're only into just a few of them. 3 from the Night's Rivals, a couple coming in from playoffs as well, and we're getting ourselves potentially a second game 5, but this one's gone long enough already to drag out the series again. NIP, they are just really trying to turtle up and trying to be as responsible, that's the word I keep using, being responsible with the way that they keep playing around this map. They can't walk up beyond this fog of war very easily. Zhuo is trying to walk up like this, knows he has that warmog, so he can survive a little bit. It's really hard for NIP to push beyond this.
Yeah, it's very hard, but you know what changes the whole tempo of a game? An Elder Dragon. As they will have that opportunity potentially to flip the game on that one, about a minute out, but the Baron is coming up in about 30 seconds. Now that we see the fog cleared a little bit, JDG had just come back off of a reset. Yagao is now full items completed as well with the RFC there, and JDG know they have NIP on the back foot.
So, NIP managed to get some control of this mid-wave. That is important. If you don't have vision in your jungle, which, you know, NIP have half-half, you can just push through mid lane. It's much easier to get into the river through these big river brushes. That's a big equalizer, though. Great chunk onto Leyan.
Oh, you can't see? Okay, now Zhuo, take the 4th shot. That's the damage done. As JDG, they do get Zhuo very, very low. He'll be able to heal up a lot, though, as this fight continues on in mid lane. JDG are starting up the Baron.
They are Dragon coming up in 20 seconds, so JDG leaving 2 people there. I don't know whether NIP know that everyone is over there. They do have, of course, knowledge that the equalizer is down. 10 seconds still, the Elder. Can JDG really contest both?
Okay, now they will know that the Baron had been started up. They had vision on it from the true shot there, but it's too little, too late. Baron goes over to the whole 5 stack of JDG, but now they have to reposition because Elder is on the line.
Okay, so Dragon started up, NIP bursting it down. Can they do it quick enough? There will be a chance for a smite steal.
Zhuo going in! Mom called on top of it all, but Leyan is already down! All the hopes, all that magical dust, it's gone to hell in a handbasket! JDG, they know they had NIP's number in spring! They brought them to all 5 games, and they were the better for it! And now, JDG on the precipice of singing those sweet, sweet silver scrapes!
Rookie tried to teleport mid lane to kill the wave, but a counter teleport came back in from JDG to make sure the minion wave survived. The game will end here. We will be going to silver scrapes 2 days in a row here in the LPL playoffs. And NIP, they will have to fight a little longer to see if they can get that revenge on JDG.
All the glitz, all the glam, Yagao stepping up big in a moment he needed to. We knew that Rookie had the better of him all along. JDG, they will not go quietly in these playoffs, and they will push us all the way to 5 games. JDG versus NIP, delivering in the race to the Silver Dragon Cup.
JDG NIP. I don't think a lot of people would have thought that JDG would be sat here chasing the series 2 times, going 1-0 down, and then an extra 2-1 down after that. But they bring us to that game 5, draws level again, and now JDG, they can see if they can somehow secure themselves what should have been for them a foregone conclusion against NIP, the team which didn't win a single series in that Ascension group in the Rumble stage.
Mind-blowing. We've seen these teams trade blow for blow. And my God, of course, we got to go all 5 rounds. One last game to decide if you continue